Back in the magical 2015-16 Premier League season, Leicester City denied the odds 5,000 to 1 to be precise, to lift the Premier League title. To give you some context on how absurd that is, the odds of Sir Alex Ferguson to win Strictly Come Dancing were 5 times more likely, and it was twice as likely for Arsenal to sack Arsene Wenger and appoint Piers Morgan as their new manager. But where are all these players now who make the impossible possible? Which players are still at Leicester, who have gone down to the Championship, and who has jumped ship? Let's start between the sticks. During Leicester's Championship season, Kasper Schmeichel did not miss a single minute or game in the league and conceded 36 goals throughout. Schmeichel ended up spending 11 years at the club in total, winning the FA Cup and becoming an icon at the club, yet left to join OGC Nice last summer as he simply wanted a new challenge. But apparently, he might not be staying there for 3 years as expected at Nice, as his teammates are furious with him for training in his own sessions rather than joining the team, creating a lack of leadership. At right back, it's Danny Simpson. Currently, Danny Simpson is without a club, but has also passed his peak at 36 years old. After their crowning season, Simpson didn't get much game time and left the club in 2019 when his contract was up. He then went on to play for Huddersfield in the Championship for a season, and once his contract was up, he was without a club for a little over 8 months until he joined fellow Championship side Bristol City for a year, but currently finds himself without a club again. Christian Fuchs was Leicester City's left back. He continued to play and represent Leicester in the Premier League for another 5 seasons and left to join Charlotte FC in the MLS in 2021 on a free transfer. In January this year, Fuchs hung up his boots after a successful stint in the Bundesliga as well as the Premier League. Robert Huff was the one half of the centre-back wall that made Leicester City's defence so impenetrable. After his legendary performance that season, he was in the starting 11 again next season, but injured himself in the 17-18 season and wasn't called up to the squad ever again, making him retire in the summer of 2018. The captain who lifted the trophy on the 2nd of May 2016 was the other half of the centre-back wall, Wes Morgan. Wes Morgan has gone down as a guaranteed Leicester legend, as he played until his final days at the King Power Stadium, retiring in the summer of 2021, yet he spent the last 2.5 seasons battling injuries, but when he did play a full 90 minutes, there was no way he wasn't walking out without that captain's armband. In midfield was Danny Drinkwater, who since Leicester's Championship season has had quite an active transfer window. In 2017, Chelsea signed Drinkwater for a staggering €38 million, but just a year later, Drinkwater was sent on loan to Burnley, where he played half a year, and once his time was up, he was sent on loan to Aston Villa for an additional 6 months. After spending 6 months at Chelsea in 2020, he went over to Turkey to play for Kasımpaşa SK in the Super League, on loan for another 6 months. But he didn't return to Chelsea, he went straight to Reading in League One, where he played for a season until he went back to Chelsea, where his contract was finally up and was released, and since last summer has been without a club. Mark Albrighton, along with Morgan and Schmeichel, were the 3 players that played in every single league game that season. Albrighton is currently still at Leicester, but was sent on loan this January to play for West Brom in the Championship this season. He has returned to play for Leicester again, but unfortunately not to the Premier League. Wait, make sure you subscribe and like the video if you haven't already to grow this incredible community. Now, back to the video. Then the third and final starting midfielder, who became a world famous footballer that season, is N'Golo Kanté. Kanté was unstoppable that season and received praise from all over and became target number 1 on the shopping list of every major football club in the world. However, Kanté ended up signing for Chelsea for €36 million in the summer of Leicester becoming champions and went on to win Footballer of the Year in England and France, became Chelsea's Player of the Year in his debut season at Chelsea, as well as winning the Premier League back-to-back, and went on to win the Europa League, Champions League, FA Cup, and probably the most prized possession of all, won the World Cup with France in 2018. This summer, after Kanté's contract expired at Chelsea, he joined fellow countryman Benzema at Al Ittihad in the Saudi League, where it suggested he will be making £86 million a year for the upcoming 3 years. In attacking midfield is none other than the Algerian prince Riyad Mahrez. Mahrez was crowned the Premier League Player of the Year that season, and what was astonishing is that Mahrez did not sign for another club right after the season was over. Mahrez stayed on at Leicester for another 2 years until Manchester City's offer was too much to refuse, a whopping €68 million. Since then, he has won pretty much everything with the citizens, playing quite the part in them winning the treble this season. Then, in the Saudi-dominated transfer market, Mahrez left Man City to join Al Ahly for £30 million, along with fellow former Premier League players Firmino and Saint-Maximin. The first name in Leicester's striker duo that season is Shinji Okazaki. Okazaki stayed at Leicester for another 3 seasons until he signed for Malaga CF on a free transfer in the summer of 2019. He was there for 35 days until he transferred over to SD Huesca, another second division Spanish club. Okazaki spent 2 seasons there until he transferred inside the second Spanish division again, this time joining FC Cartagena. He played there for 1 year and last summer joined Sint-Truiden in the Belgian league. And finally, Leicester's goal machine of the 15-16 season, none other than Jamie Vardy. That season, Jamie Vardy came runner-up in the Golden Boot race, won Football's Writer Association Footballer of the Year, was nominated as Player of the Year, made the PFA Team of the Year and scored a total of 24 goals that season. Vardy is the last man standing of that legendary 15-16 Premier League winning side, who has played in every season at Leicester since, but not even his class was able to prevent Leicester from relegation last season. From Leicester's 2015-16 winning season, Vardy and Albrighton are the two players left at the club who will be representing Leicester in the Championship this upcoming season. Honourable mentions who were not in the starting 11 of Leicester's 2015-16 season is midfielder Jeffrey Schlupp, who is at Crystal Palace since 2017, striker Leonardo Ulloa, who is now retired, midfielder Andy King, who is now playing for Bristol City, and finally right back Richie Delay, who rejoined his boyhood club Royal Antwerp. Will Leicester City be making their return to the Premier League next season? Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next one. Bye.